You know what it is, your man Eldorado Hip Hop since 1987, and we're live right now at a special location, Phillips Arena, as you see, on the Atlanta Dreams home floor. And I'm with one of the best players, I don't want to call you a female player, we're going to say basketball player, period, in the world. She goes by the name of Angel McCoughtry. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
We got a lot I want to talk to you about. You know, you're doing wonderful things in the WNBA that has expanded from your NCAA career at Louisville, so we'll talk about that. You're also an international star because you play ball overseas as well and whatnot. And you're going through a transaction because you have a new head coach, Michael Cooper. So tell me, you know, the season has just kicked off. You guys are 2-0.
We're 2-0 right now, yeah.
You're averaging 24 points right now. So, I mean, 2 games with you coming out the door strong and whatnot. Your last performance was crazy, you know, overtime victory and whatnot. So just how is the dream right now, and what's it been like playing for Coach Cooper?
It's been great. Coach Cooper's great. He actually came all the way to Turkey to see me for one day.
Oh, that's
so that just shows you his commitment and his passion to want to win. Like, I've never had a coach just come, I mean, on a 10-hour flight. And then he went to, he stayed one day and then went back to LA after he came from Turkey. So that's like a 13-hour flight. So, you know, when he came, that just meant a lot to me. I mean, that just showed just that he really cares. He's a tough coach, but fun at the same time. He knows how to balance it out. So we're running a lot, and I feel like that's helped us in our overtime game. Then we had a tough first game, so we're working hard in practice. So he's really tough, but it's a good tough.
Okay. Now, you know, you were the Rookie of the Year when you came into the league in 2009. You've already won 2 WNBA scoring titles. You've taken a dream to Eastern Conference Championships. What is your goal for yourself this season?
Well, it's obvious what the goal is. We want to get over the hump. We obviously have 3 Eastern Conference championships, but we want to get over the hump and win the championship. So that's what Coach Cooper has come in and been enforcing to us. He talks about a championship every day in practice. It hasn't been that one day that he hasn't mentioned a championship. He said, if you want to be about it, you got to talk about it. So we talk about it every day. Yeah, so championship is our goal.
Okay, I can definitely dig that. Coach Cooper brings that championship experience from the Lakers, the Sparks, so I'm quite sure, you know, like, his motivation will definitely carry you guys over the top. Now, as we gave mention to, the WNBA season has just kicked off, but you were overseas a few months ago playing in Istanbul. So as we gave mention to, you're an international basketball star as well. What's life like overseas?
Well, actually, I was just there a few weeks ago. Our season there just finished May 5th. But overseast life is really great. A lot of people think, oh, she's in Turkey with a bunch of camels and sand, but it's not like that. That city's one of the most beautiful cities I've ever lived in. It's a great culture. It's very westernized like here. They eat everything we eat. It tastes even better. It's more fresh. It's just a beautiful city. They love basketball over there. They have one of the toughest leagues outside the NBA. So it's a lot of Americans over there that you probably would know over here that played in the NCAA. So it's really a beautiful city. It's a lot of fun. It's a tough competition. At the women's games, we get a lot of fans. They're hyped. It's just crazy. It's just nothing you would expect. The best way I can put it, Istanbul is like a Turkish New York. If you know New York City, it's very busy. It's 20 million people in that city, so it's actually bigger than New York. So it's like a New York, but it's, you know, Turkish New York, if I should say.
Okay. Now, athletes in a lot of other sports here in America, NBA, MLB, even the NFL, you know, their seasons aren't year-round. You yourself, though, as you gave mention to, your season overseas just ended May 5th. We're not even in June yet. So how, you know, what is the transaction like of going from international ball to coming right into the WNBA and playing?
It's tough. It can be tough on your body, but mentally it's where you got to just keep talking to yourself, encouraging yourself. Like, you know, your body is stronger than what you think it is. Personally, we do play more games in the NBA because we play all year round. You know, but I've been blessed and fortunate not to have any major injuries. We're going to knock on wood, you know. But it's fun, you know. We're doing what we love. I mean, we get to travel the world, see different places, and then come back and play at home. I wouldn't trade it in for the world. But I just keep my mental up and just enjoy it.
Now, as we gave mention to also, you were a star before you came to the WNBA. You know, you were doing big things with the Louisville program, and many who are familiar with the Louisville Cardinals female basketball history, they give you the credit for kind of revising basketball for Louisville in that area. So, like, how do you feel about that? And do you still connect with, you know, your former coaches and former teammates and even players that are there now?
Always. That's a relationship that will never end. You know, having the credit, it's not just me because, you know, it's a team effort, you know, back then when I played. But for us to to start the history that we started to continue it now. I mean, when I first came my freshman year, they averaged like 1,200 fans. I was in there like, is this what I came to? What in the world have I gotten myself into? And they hadn't made it past the first round in the NCAA tournament, you know. So now we're in the Final Four. They're in the NCAA a lot. The fan average is over 10,000. So to be a part of that history, to put Louisville on the map, like we did, it's just a great feeling to see how far a program has come before you got there. Like nobody ever, it was nothing about a Louisville women's basketball team. I don't even think they thought a women's team existed. It was just Rick Pitino on the football team. But now, when you talk about Louisville, you talk about those three teams. So, you know, those three major teams. So it's just a blessing to be a part of that.
I dig it. But before game day, what's typically in your iPod? Like, what do you listen to, or what do you do to mentally prepare yourself for game day?
I listen to a lot of stuff. Sometimes I'm listening to gospel when I want to just get my spirit right and just be at peace. I just listen to everything: hip hop, R&B, pop, anything to get me in the mood, rowdy, get me pumped up. So.
I've seen on the court, you know, that you're a semi-sneakerhead. You know, you wear the Kobe sometimes, the Durant. Is there a particular sneaker that you prefer to play in, or that you feel like when you're in it, you feel more free on the floor?
Actually, I'm not really a sneakerhead like that. I'm not like those crazy kids. Like I have all these sneakers in her closet. If you look, I just have sandals, you know, and I just rock these. But on the court, I do like to play in Kobe's because it feels just comfortable. I just like to play in whatever is comfortable for me to, you know, feel good and run and score. Those type things.
Now, I also understand you're very involved in the community. You have a basketball camp coming up here in Georgia. Could you elaborate on that?
I have a basketball camp coming up June 10th. If you want to look at the upcoming details, you can look on my Twitter. It's @McCoughtry, my last name. I love giving back to the kids. I have an Angel McCoughtry Junior Foundation, and we just help the kids with education, programs coming up, laptops for the community, for schools. So we do a lot of things with that. But right now, I'm about to start the basketball camp June 10th. More details on my Twitter, so that's where we are right now.
Okay.
It's kind of hard sometimes, not having a lot of time to do things. So when we do have time, we try to do as much as possible.
Now, for those who aren't, you know, very familiar with the WNBA and haven't had the opportunity to actually come to a game and experience how wonderful it is, what would you tell a person, you know, like, I've been to several NBA games, I've been to several WNBA games, and quite honestly, I've had a better time at the WNBA games than the NBA games. You know, the competition level is there, the crowd energy is there, but you don't see packed arenas or packed stadiums or whatnot. How can we change that?
We don't see a lot of packed arenas like we should in women's basketball because it's a big stereotype that women's basketball is boring, they can't dunk. But really, if you just take dunking out the equation, it's still basketball. A dunk is still 2 points. A layup is still 2 points. But at the same time, our games aren't boring. They're hype. We're getting in. We're getting after it. We don't play slow. We're running up and down the court. But at the same time, we can jump. We can run. We're like reindeers out there. So our games are really, really, really exciting. And I promise you, if you come, you would really, really enjoy yourself.
I totally dig it. I totally dig it. Now I understand you have games coming up in Chicago, and then you have a home game this Sunday. So the season is definitely kicking off.
It's kicking in back to back.
So for people who want to stay in contact with you via social media, Twitter, follow the dream, how can they go about doing so?
Yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, I'm on everything. My Twitter is @Angel_35, and my Instagram is @McCoughtry. It's 2 different names because at the time I didn't know, you know, how to work it. So I have 2 different names for that. And then if you want to follow Atlanta Dream, just @Atlanta Dream. So.
You know what it is, hip hop since 1987. We're live right now at Phillips Arena with the lovely and very talented Angel McCoughtry. Make sure you follow the dream and check out this young lady throughout the entire WNBA season. And stay tuned to Hip Hop Since 1987 for all your sports news.